This story is called The Goat That Gloats. And he's sitting in a tower, isn't he? On a throne made of stone at the top of a tower, counting the minutes of each passing hour, feeling bored and ignored for days without end, lived a goat who was lonely. He wanted a friend. This goat was unhappy with sitting alone, way up in his tower on his cold, hard throne. So out of his window he started to belt to the people who bustled below in the street. What a wonderful full friend I would make, bragged the goat. I've a throne in a tower with a bubble bath note. But the people below came back over the moat. Who'd want to be friends with a goat that gloats? The goat scratched his head with his hoof and he frowned. What must he do to make friends in this town? So he started again to the people below without even so much as a smile or hello. What a wonderful friend I would make, bragged the goat, for I own a fast car and a fabulous boat. But the people below called back over the moat, who'd want to be friends with a gloating goat? Now the goat was beginning to get quite upset that no one would want to be friends with him yet. So he jumped to his hoofs and reached for his net, and quickly he scooped up Fernando, his pet. What a wonderful friend I would make, bragged the goat, for Fernando, my pet, is the world's smartest street. But the people below called back over the moat, who'd want to be friends with a gloating goat? Once more the goat, who was stricken with grief, came away from the window to Fernando's relief. He recaged his pet before he got bitten, then burst into verse with a song that he'd written. What a wonderful friend I would make, bragged the goat, for that little ditty was the one that I wrote. But the people below called back over the moat, who'd want to be friends with the gloating goat? Now the goat was about to sing one more verse, but his run of bad luck took a turn for the worse. He took a deep breath and let loose with such force that his voice gave right out. He had bragged himself hoarse. The people below in the street clapped and cheered, and the goat whimpered miserably into his beard. Why don't they like me? Why don't they care? When all of my riches I'm willing to share. Meanwhile, the people began to feel bad for teasing the goat in the way that they had. He might be annoying for gloating all day, but all that aside, he was kind of okay. So they lifted their heads to the tower and they tried to talk to the goat who was hauled up inside. For they thought that he'd make a good friend sure enough, if only he'd promised to stop showing off. The goat heard them calling his name. He jumped up out of his throne with such joy that he bumped his horn on a beam jutting out of the ceiling. It was several hours before they regained feeling. But he couldn't talk with the pain in his throat. He struggled to utter much more than a note. A note! Why, that's it! So he went one step better, sat down at his desk, and he wrote them a letter. At last he had finished. To the window he went, and there with his letter he carefully bent, and folded the paper to form a small plane, whilst all the time hoping that it wouldn't rain. Whiz went the letter out into the blue. Ooh, went the people also ooh. As circling steadily over the street, it finally came to rest at their feet. Oh, shall we see what the letter says? What did he write? What wonderful friends would you make, went the note, for this foolish old goat with a very sore throat. I'm sorry, I really did not mean to brag, but loneliness can be terribly drag. Now I got to thinking, sat here on my chair, what use are nice things if they cannot be shared? I would take great delight in knowing you better, and that is the reason I'm sending this letter. And the people below called back over the moat, of course, we'll be friends with you silly old goats. They're all going to be friends, aren't they? And now the goat said he's going to share all his things with them so they can have lots of fun sharing all of the things together. Thank you for listening. Bye everyone.